Tomorrow could be a very important day for millions of Americans. But before you get your hopes up, you need to hear the truth. Right now, social media, YouTube comments, and even group chats are exploding with claims that Congress is about to release new money for Social Security, SSI, and SSDI recipients. Some people are saying emergency payments are coming. Others are claiming surprise deposits could hit accounts overnight. And if you rely on these benefits, that kind of news can feel like a lifeline. But here's the problem. Most of what's circulating online is either misunderstood, exaggerated, or missing critical details. And believing the wrong information could leave you disappointed, confused, or making financial decisions based on something that isn't real. So the big question is this: is Congress actually releasing new Social Security, SSI, or SSDI funds tomorrow? Or is this just another wave of viral misinformation? In this video, we're cutting through the noise. No hype, no clickbait promises, just the facts. What Congress has actually discussed, what the Social Security Administration has officially confirmed, and what you should realistically expect if you receive benefits. Whether you're retired, disabled, or supporting someone who depends on these payments, this information matters more than ever right now. Before rumors spread any further, you deserve clarity. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what's true, what's false, and what's coming next. And if you appreciate honest, clear updates like this, make sure to hit that like button. It really helps get accurate information out to more Americans who need it. Now let's slow everything down for a moment, because this is where confusion usually starts. When people hear the words Congress, new funds, and tomorrow in the same sentence, it's easy to assume that money is about to magically appear in your bank account. And honestly, given the cost of groceries, rent, gas, and medical care right now, who wouldn't want that to be true? For millions of Americans living on Social Security, SSI, or SSDI, even a small change can feel massive. But here's the reality: most headlines won't explain clearly. Congress does not release Social Security payments overnight, and it doesn't work the way viral posts make it sound. Social Security, SSI, and SSDI are funded through very specific systems. Regular monthly payments are scheduled far in advance by the Social Security Administration, not decided at the last minute by lawmakers. When Congress is involved, it's usually discussing budgets, long-term funding, eligibility rules, or future adjustments, not surprise checks hitting accounts the next morning. That distinction matters because misunderstanding it is exactly how false hope spreads so fast online. Right now, what's fueling these rumors is a mix of real conversations in Washington and exaggerated interpretations on social media. Congress is always talking about Social Security. It's one of the most debated programs in the country. Lawmakers are discussing the future of the trust fund, possible reforms, and how to keep benefits stable for retirees and disabled Americans. But discussion does not equal action, and action does not equal immediate payments. Another major source of confusion is the word funds. When people hear that Congress is releasing funds, they assume that means direct payments to beneficiaries. In reality, most funding decisions involve keeping programs operational, covering administrative costs, or planning for future fiscal years. That money doesn't go straight into recipients' bank accounts. It goes into maintaining the system itself. Let's also talk about emergency payments, because that's a phrase being thrown around a lot. Emergency stimulus-style payments are extremely rare and require very specific conditions, like a national crisis combined with bipartisan legislation that is signed into law. Even when that happens, it takes weeks or months for payments to be processed and distributed. There is no mechanism for Congress to quietly approve new Social Security or SSI checks and have them show up tomorrow without any official announcement from the Social Security Administration. And that's another key point you should always remember. If new payments were truly coming, the SSA would say so clearly, publicly, and repeatedly. It would be on their website. It would be in official press releases. Banks and payment processors would already be preparing. Silence from the SSA is not accidental. It's a signal that nothing new has been authorized. That doesn't mean nothing is happening at all. It just means the timeline is being misunderstood. There are ongoing discussions about cost of living pressures, benefit adequacy, and how inflation affects seniors and disabled Americans. There are proposals floating around. Some lawmakers are pushing for expansions, others are focused on protecting existing benefits, and some are arguing about how to pay for everything long-term. Those conversations are important, but they are not immediate relief. Another issue that adds to the confusion is how payment schedules work. Many people see deposits hit on different days of the month and assume something extra has arrived. In reality, Social Security payments are staggered based on birth dates, while SSI follows a different schedule entirely. When a payment arrives earlier or later than expected due to weekends or holidays, it can look like a bonus when it's actually just timing. Scammers and clickbait creators take advantage of that confusion. They use phrases like confirmed, breaking, or just announced because they know fear and hope drive clicks. Unfortunately, that kind of content spreads faster than boring truth, even when it's misleading. And the people hurt most by this are the ones who can least afford disappointment. So let's be very clear and very honest right now. As of this moment, there is no confirmed new Social Security, SSI, or SSDI payment being released tomorrow that is separate from regular scheduled benefits. There is no secret approval. There is no emergency deposit waiting to clear. Anyone telling you otherwise is either misunderstanding the process or deliberately exaggerating for attention. What you should focus on instead is what actually matters. Make sure you know your official payment schedule. Make sure your information with the Social Security Administration is up to date. Be cautious about viral claims that don't cite official sources. And most importantly, don't make financial decisions based on rumors. That's how people end up short on rent, late on bills, or relying on money that never comes. That said, staying informed is still crucial. Policy changes do happen, and when they do, they are announced clearly. Benefit adjustments, legislative reforms, and funding decisions all follow a process, and understanding that process puts you back in control. Knowledge doesn't just protect your wallet, it protects your peace of mind. If you've been feeling overwhelmed by the constant noise online, you're not alone. Millions of Americans are trying to figure out what's real and what isn't, especially when every dollar counts. That's why conversations like this matter. Not to hype you up, but to ground you in reality so you can plan with confidence instead of fear. Looking ahead, the real story isn't about tomorrow. It's about the months and years to come. Social Security isn't disappearing overnight, despite what some headlines suggest. At the same time, it's not immune to political pressure. The future of these programs depends on decisions being debated right now, and those decisions will shape benefits long-term, not through surprise deposits, but through gradual changes. So if you hear someone say, Congress is sending out new Social Security money tomorrow, pause before you panic or celebrate. Ask where that information came from. Ask whether the Social Security Administration has confirmed it. And remember that real changes don't happen in the shadows. They happen in the open, with documentation, timelines, and official notices. This is exactly why it's so important to follow reliable updates and stay connected to sources that prioritize accuracy over excitement. You deserve clear answers, not emotional whiplash. And as long as misinformation keeps circulating, conversations like this will continue to be necessary. If this breakdown helped you feel more informed, more grounded, or simply less anxious, take a second to support the video by liking it. It helps push accurate information to more Americans who are searching for answers right now. And stay tuned, because as soon as something real changes, something official, confirmed, and actionable, you'll hear it explained clearly, honestly, and without the hype. One thing that often gets overlooked in these conversations is how emotionally charged Social Security really is. For many people, this isn't just a government program. It's the foundation of their monthly survival. It's the check that pays for prescriptions, groceries, utilities, and rent. So when someone hears a rumor about extra money, it doesn't feel like gossip. It feels personal. And that emotional reaction is exactly why misinformation spreads so fast in this space. But here's what you need to keep reminding yourself of. Real financial changes don't come through whispers or countdown-style posts. They come through official channels, and they come with details. amounts, dates, eligibility rules. When those details are missing, that's your first red flag. Congress cannot quietly push money out without creating a paper trail that's visible to the public. Every dollar has to be authorized, recorded, and implemented through agencies that operate on strict timelines. Another thing that's fueling confusion right now is the broader economic anxiety many Americans are feeling. Inflation may not be rising as fast as it was before, but prices are still high. Housing costs are still painful. Healthcare expenses are still climbing. So when people hear lawmakers are talking about relief, it's easy to mentally turn that into help is coming now. But talking and doing are very different things in Washington. It's also important to understand that Social Security, SSI, and SSDI are not interchangeable, even though they're often lumped together online. Each program has its own funding structure, eligibility requirements, and payment rules. That means even if Congress were to approve a change affecting one program, it would not automatically apply to the others. Yet many viral claims ignore those distinctions entirely, which is another reason they fall apart under scrutiny. You might also be wondering why these rumors keep resurfacing every few months. The answer is simple. Fear and hope drive engagement. A headline that says, "Nothing new has changed," doesn't travel far. A headline that says, "Money coming tomorrow," spreads like wildfire. That doesn't make it true. It just makes it profitable for the person posting it. This is why being informed is no longer optional. It's a form of self-defense. Knowing how the system actually works protects you from emotional manipulation. It keeps you from refreshing your bank app all night. It helps you plan realistically instead of reacting emotionally to every new claim that pops up in your feed. If you're receiving Social Security, SSI, or SSDI, the most powerful thing you can do right now is stay grounded in verified information. Check official sources. Pay attention to formal announcements. Ignore countdowns that aren't backed by documentation. And never assume silence means something secret is happening behind the scenes. In government, silence usually means nothing has changed. As we move forward, there will absolutely be updates worth paying attention to. Budget negotiations, policy proposals, election year debates, all of those can influence the future of these programs. But when change happens, it won't sneak up on you overnight. You'll see it coming, and you'll have time to understand what it means for your situation. Until then, the best thing you can do is protect your expectations. Don't let false urgency steal your peace. Don't let exaggerated claims pressure you into decisions you wouldn't otherwise make. Stability comes from clarity, and clarity comes from facts. If you've made it this far in the video, that tells me one thing. You care about understanding what's really going on, not just what sounds good. And that matters, because the more people demand accuracy instead of hype, the harder it becomes for misinformation to dominate the conversation. So take a moment right now and support content that prioritizes truth. Hit the like button, not just for this video, but as a way of pushing accurate information into a space that desperately needs it. And make sure you're subscribed, because when real updates happen, confirmed, official, and meaningful, you'll get them explained clearly, calmly, and without the panic. Thanks for staying informed, thanks for staying grounded, and most importantly, thanks for taking care of yourself in a system that often makes that harder than it should be.